My Baby Mama, Part 2. A Story by Ebi's Heart. Chaik and Omar's wedding was the talk of the town. Dignitaries within and outside the state were in attendance. The marriage was all about the Okoyes. Chaik's mother refused to show their invited guests Omar's family because they were not in their class. Her major reason for allowing her son to marry Omar was because she wanted a grandchild without excuse. Not marrying someone like Omar will mean so many things for her. She will not have a say in the marriage. This is because she wanted a situation whereby every decision will be made by her, without any form of interference. Another thing is that she wanted so many grandchildren, at least 5 according to her boasting. And marrying someone in their level may affect that, as they may want only a child, but she doesn't want that. So to her, they just married a glorified maid, with an advantage of baby factory. Her insult and neglect towards Omar's family on the wedding day broke Omar's mother's heart. She never liked Madame Okoye, but now she have nothing but complete hatred towards her. After the church wedding and reception, the Okoyes took Omar to a shrine. They told her that it was a family deity, and totally harmless. All you have to do is keep all the commandments that will be given to you, and you are totally safe. We are a very religious family, but we built our world with hard work. So we will not allow just anybody to come and scatter our world for us. Chaik's mother continued her sermon all the way to the shrine. When they got there, the most senior member of the Okoye family brought out a thick-covered book and started reading do's and don'ts to Omar. Number 1, you must never go close to another man, talk more of cheating on our son. Number 2, we do not raise another man's child, therefore bringing in a pregnancy that doesn't belong to our son is unthinkable. Thirdly, the Okoyes do not adopt children, our gods and forefathers forbade it completely. If you fail number 1, you will go mad on the spot and die few months later. If you bring in another man's child, we may not know at birth, but there is something we do every 10 years. We welcome our children officially to the Okoyes family. During this ceremony, any child that does not belong to us will be exposed, and when that happens, he or she will be stripped of his or her birthright. And the mother of such children will be divorced without a penny to her name, and with a heavy curse from our forefathers. Lastly, our wives do not work. Your only job is to stay at home, bear children, and take care of the home. They were still talking, but Omar was no longer listening. She felt like screaming her problems out without fear and maybe run away. But she thought of the soft life behind such rules, and decided to stay calm. So this is just a business transaction. Give me grandkids in exchange for soft life. We shall see, Omar murmured quietly. The marriage ceremony and entertainment of guests, both from within and outside the country, lasted for more than a week. Once everything was over, Madame Okoye announced their honeymoon location. Omar, get ready. You and Chaik are flying to Maldives for your honeymoon. I want my first grandchild to be of sound mind, so conceiving him in a saner environment will play a very good role, she said, sounding snobbish. And note, Omar, do not taste alcohol during this journey. I know this life is all new and exciting for you, but think of what you will give to us, your benefactors, in return, before going wild. Madame Okoye said and laughed mockingly. Few days later, Omar and Chaik flew to Maldives for their honeymoon. The anxiety Omar was feeling made it almost impossible for her to enjoy her honeymoon. Chaik, on the other hand, was having the best time of his life. He thought Omar was kind of anxious because it was her first time traveling outside the country, so he didn't think too much about her attitude. 3 weeks later, they returned from honeymoon. The first thing Madame Okoye said was, "You could miss your period anytime soon." She said this and smiled at Omar. Omar swallowed hard. She simply informed them that she wants to pay her mother a visit. Madame Okoye did not like it, so her countenance changed. "I don't want you to eat anything when you get there. My grandchild that may be growing in your womb now should not eat anything that might affect him," she said sarcastically and eyed Omar. The next day, Omar left to see her mother. His mother was so happy to see her. They hugged each other tightly and Omar started crying. "I am so scared for my life. Madame Okoye is not a good person. She sees us as nothing, And Oma was still talking when her mother hushed her. You don't have to tell me who she is. I know her so well. She feels she is better than everyone. As for their stupid tradition, we will find a way around it. They want grandchildren. They will have it. But you see that wealth. I and my family must have a share of it. My father worked for the Okoyes for almost 30 years, but he died miserable. They sacked him once his strength declined. You being in their midst is not a coincidence. I started nursing this plan so many years ago. So you have to be strong and trust all my plans. I have found a solution to the grandchild thing. While you were away, Oma's mother continued, I and your sisters were able to find a young mad woman who will bear the child you will present to them as their grandchild. Oma shouted excitedly and asked her mother how they were going to pull through with the plan. Her mother simply laughed and told her to just relax. The Okoyes think we that are poor are not smart enough. But we will surprise them. With that money you sent to us after your wedding, we were able to capture the girl and rented a flat, cleaned her up and chained her there. So what is remaining is for us to find a man that we will pay handsomely, so that he can get her pregnant at the right time for us. As we speak, your cousin Joy is living in that flat. So very soon, you will become very pregnant. They both laughed so hard and started dancing.